What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today, again, I'm talking about the Maple Leafs. Don't worry, guys, if you're looking for other content for other teams, I've got videos on the Blackhawks coming up. I've got videos on the Canucks coming up, the Flames. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different teams coming up, so don't worry. But if you are a Leaf fan, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and any team. Make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. You could watch the whole video before making that decision, or go check out some of my other content. But today we're talking about a hot topic in Leafs land for the past few years, and it's been a big topic of discussion this season, and that's the Leafs blue line. They keep getting bounced in the qualifying round in this, era of how we're playing hockey, or the first round of the playoffs, and most of the time it's the Toronto Maple Leafs team defense and their blue line that is the major problem. Now, the thing is, and I'm setting this up here to show you guys as much as I can in a second here, is that Kyle Dubas has finally taken full control over the team. And it's something that was being talked about on the Steve Dangle podcast. And I really liked what they were saying about it, is because, sure, last year, Kyle Dubas's fingerprint was all over this team. But now it's fully his team. All the players that have been brought in from trades that, were backlash, or the remaining pieces of the Lou Lamoriello era, or the Mike Babcock style of players, in terms of like he just likes his guys and these guys have to be on the ice and these guys need to be playing, that type of thing, that's all over. Now this is Kyle Dubas's time, and he had to upgrade from what was a very poorly run blue line for the past how many years, guys? Like, it's been a long time where we've had a good defenseman but no partner and no depth whatsoever. And, say what you want about guys like Dion Phaneuf, he never had a good partner even when he was still playing very well. Jake Gardiner, that guy never really had a solid D partner. Imagine a guy that would be more or less a stay-at-home defenseman who actually could play heavy minutes playing with Jake Gardiner. He would have been completely fine, and his mistakes wouldn't have been as glaring. Morgan Rielly, until this year, has never had a real D partner, like one that can actually hang with him and play big minutes. And now this depth is helping a guy like Jake Muzzin, not have to be the guy all the time and play the big minutes. You bring in a guy like TJ Brody, who is pretty sound defensively, and now it's all of a sudden it's not the Jake Muzzin show all the time. You basically have brought in guys like Mikko Lehtonen, who is from the KHL and, and from Finland, and he is definitely going to be a guy that's going to improve over a guy like Marincin or Ceci. You bring in TJ Brody, and he's more of the style that the Leafs need rather than a Tyson Barrie, who was just offensively gifted and never worked under, Mike Babcock's system. And you've still got your depth. You re-signed Travis Dermott, and I might as well put this up right now on the display capture here. So this article is what got me thinking, and this is from Sportsnet, and you guys can see I'm looking at some Cap stuff and some Canucks stuff up there as well, so those videos are coming. But after Dermott signed, it just showed you now the depth that the Leafs have, bringing in a Zach Bogosian, he's definitely a rough, tough kind of guy who is good depth for the Maple Leafs. He's a much better, option than a Martin Marincin, no disrespect. You still have Rasmus Sandin and Timothy Liljegren, two really good prospects who the Leafs are trying to groom to become top four guys, and honestly, they more than likely both will become guys that are in the top four. Liljegren, they're trying to make a more rounded guy, whereas Rasmus Sandin will probably be a lesser version of Morgan Rielly. TJ Brody, sound defensively, like I mentioned, he'll kill penalties. Mikko Lehtonen, offensively gifted, which we'll get to in a second, but apparently plays a pretty solid game, and I've watched him. The guy back checks like crazy. His skating ability and his lane to get to certain areas is very good. He's very smart. He's got a high IQ, so I'm looking forward to him playing. And then, like I said, Travis Dermott, right here, ranked 4th among returning Maple Leafs defensemen in ice time. He knows he's got to win those minutes now, because this depth is a little more crowded. You're not beating out a Cody Ceci and Tyson Barrie anymore. All respect to Tyson Barrie, but he just, the Leafs didn't need more offense. You brought in a little bit of offense with Lehtonen. TJ Brody obviously is a lot more defensively gifted than Mikko Lehtonen, but you're replacing him with a cheaper version who can put up points. You know, a guy that can play defensively and a rough style of defenseman. You're getting a bit of everything for, you know, two guys that aren't going to work in this system. This is a major upgrade for the Leafs. You know, a lot of people aren't looking at it that way, but you also still have Justin Hall if they're going to hold on to him. So we'll look at that in a second. I really want to talk about Mikko Lehtonen, and this is obviously, like I said, he's from Finland, Jokerit of the KHL now, via a loan, but he's been playing there for a couple years in the KHL after playing, you know, in Finland and stuff like that. But right now he has 16 points at the time I'm recording this. 16 points in 14 games played, and you know, he's 26, so he's not all that young. He's coming in, he's got his full, you know, man body basically, 6 foot, 196 pounds. You know, the guy has experience playing at a higher level. You know, he's got some medals there. And definitely a guy that's going to bring the Leafs another dynamic type of player. He's offensively gifted. He's not going to get crazy minutes, so he's probably going to be sheltered more to play in a offensive role, kind of like you know, what the Leafs are more than likely going to try with Travis Dermott if they do decide to keep Justin Hall. But the Leafs have that depth that they've been desperately wanting, and they can bring in a guy like Lehtonen to be an offensive guy and not have to worry about, you know, oh, he has to be defensively sound, because we do have a little bit of depth here, and there is a little bit more team defense and team toughness, obviously, with bringing in Simmons and stuff. But I don't want to talk about the forwards right now. Just want to talk about this blue line here. So Muzzin and Hall are more than likely playing together. Of course, I got to refresh the page here. That's what they want. We got, let's switch this up here. Let's switch it. Riley and Brody. So definitely a better partner for Morgan Riley. This makes a ton of sense, defensively sound. Mikko Lehtonen is definitely not going to be there. Jake Muzzin and Justin Hall. I mean, you could see Lehtonen on this side if he really impresses. Guys, I've seen this guy skate and back check. He's not just an offensive guy, but that's his gift. That's mainly what he does. Now, like I said, you could keep Justin Hall. And I know there's a lot of people that love Justin Hall who watch these videos, and I like him too. But away from Jake Muzzin, Justin Hall is not good. I'm sorry, he's just not. And there's stats, and your eyes could have seen it. He's not good when he's not playing with Jake Muzzin. So you kind of need these two to be together if he is going to stay. But, you know, Bogosian, very, very physical. He's a guy that I'm very excited to see how he fits in. And then you have Dermott. So you're still cap compliant if they send down a guy like Engvall, which, again, all of this could change. But you have depth, and this is without factoring in that you have guys like Calle Rosen who can play. He's in a sheltered role. He's pretty good. He's not bad. Timothy Liljegren, of course, and Rasmus Sandin are your prospects. So let's just show you. Obviously, they're going to be over the cap. I know that, but I just want to show you guys the type of depth that I'm talking about here. They want him to play the right side. So let's just go like that. Let's bring up, okay, cooperate with me here. Let's bring up Timothy Liljegren. Like, look at the depth here. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody here. I mean, listen, I know we don't like Marincin that much, but he's not bad. Timo Kivihalme is not bad either. These guys are just obviously guys that are just added depth towards the very bottom of the chart. I mean, and you know what? Hollowell is on a lot of people's radars too. He's a guy that you might want to look out for in the near future. He's not going to be crazy. He might be a bottom pairing guy, but he's got some eyes on him. It's very interesting. But, you know, there are some guys down here like Duzak who, you know, some people kind of like there, and Warsofsky. I think he's kind of a physical veteran type of guy, but he's going to be with the Marlies for sure. But look at this. Riley, Brody, definite NHL caliber first pairing guys, right? Jake Muzzin and Justin Hall, you know, that's a pretty solid second pair, Muzzin being the better half of that, but still, they play well together. Lehtonen and Bogosian, Sandin and Dermott, so you've got two guys that are trying to prove themselves as you know, legitimate options. Sandin has the higher ceiling, but Dermott's right there. You know, Rosen and Liljegren obviously with the higher ceiling, you know, top 4 potential definitely. And you know, Rosen's not too shabby, but he's not going to get minutes probably. Marincin and Hollowell, and then Kivihalme. So, like, this is not the greatest, but this is a lot better depth than before. when you add guys like Brody and you add like Bogosian and Lehtonen and, you know, you still have Sandin, Dermott, Liljegren, like you didn't have to trade any of these guys. This is a deeper blue line than the Leafs have had in a while. Like this is much better than before. There's no Cody Ceci here. It's TJ Brody. You know, there's no Tyson Barrie giving the puck away all the time because he didn't fit in well with our system, and I wish him the best. He's money in the bank for 50 points in Edmonton. He's going to be feeding McDavid and Draisaitl all night long. And if Babcock didn't change the way that Barrie played with the Leafs, he would have had 50 points with Toronto easily. Look at the way he was playing under Sheldon Keefe. He's not a defensive defenseman. He's not good at playing defense. He's basically another forward. And, you know, on paper, that trade looked better than it turned out to be. Let's be honest. Bogosian, physicality, Lehtonen, you know, there's no Marincin. Look at how far Marincin is in the depth chart. Look at, like, I have Rosen over Marincin in his depth chart. But, like, there's no way Marincin's getting big time here, ever. There's way too many guys that can play ahead of him. Like, let's be honest here. Let's send some of these guys back down again. All right? These are the guys that are going to get consistent minutes on this team this year, right? These are the guys that are going to be the ones that play. All of these guys here. This is much better. Much better. I would rather see these guys play than the team that they iced last year. Because this is, to me, is a little exciting because there will be internal competition. Liljegren, Sandin, Dermott, Bogosian, Lehtonen, like even Justin Hall's going to have to battle for some minutes. These guys all have to play their ass off to get in there. And in the age, and I'm going to take this off of the screen here for a second. In the age of what we're going through right now, because I can't say the magic words of what's going on, but we all know what's going on. These contracts are never guaranteed, especially to guys that are battling for minutes, right? Like, sure, Sandin and Liljegren are on their entry-level contracts, but these guys need to eventually get paid. They need to prove that they're worth bigger money when their contract's up. Travis Dermott needs to play his ass off. If he doesn't, he's not going to make big money. And right now, these guys are fighting to get a bigger contract and they need to get ice time. They need to, and they need to play better. Because if not, Dubas is going to get rid of them. It's not going to be hard to get rid of a Zach Bogosian. Just ship him off or bury him in the minors. Same thing with Travis Dermott. They're going to be like, listen here, if we can make an upgrade mid-season and you're not playing well enough, you're out. Same thing with Justin Hall. Mikko Lehtonen, if he doesn't pan out in the NHL, that guy's going to be a healthy scratch. So they have options. They finally have a chance to have some depth. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying they're amazing. But this is a much better blue line than they had last season. And it's going to prove that on the ice. They're a deeper team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video here. Again, you can have your, opinion. First of all, you can have your opinion, but I also want you guys to tell me why I'm wrong if I am, which a lot of the time I am. Let's be honest, we all get stuff wrong. But I think that we can kind of agree here. I really do. I think that this is a much better team, and blue line wise. We'll get to the forwards. I want to do that, and you guys know I'll be making videos like this all the time, and it's exciting and it's fun. And hopefully you guys have more videos to recommend down below. I appreciate you guys so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.